Hi everyone, Miss Kelly from the Wakanda Area Library here to show you what you're doing with this month's Art to Go kit. So this month I thought that you guys could try doing some henna. In your kit you're going to find some henna practice sheets and a henna cone. Henna is actually a dye made from a plant and it's turned into a paste. And you'll use it to actually stain your skin. It's actually not going to be an actual, it's like a temporary tattoo. It's like the original temporary tattoo. Henna is, the practice of henna is thousands of years old. It started in a lot of Asian countries where it grows. It's very hot and they would make a paste and they put it on their skin to cool it off. And they kind of evolved into an art form over the years. It's very popular for brides to use. It signifies good luck, prosperity, celebratory things, just for fun, just for personal expression. It's pretty cool. It's very easy to use. All your henna tubes have, all you really need is your skin and your cone. There's a little pin at the end. That's how you open and close it. So actually just by putting that pin back in, you can close it up. There's actually quite a bit of henna in here. You can easily do a big design like that. I recommend before you do your henna that you try a little practice with the sheets I gave you. There's different kinds of designs. It's very common to do a design on like the palm of your hand, do a mandala shaped thing. These are things that you might do on your fingers. You can practice with a pen on here just to get the hang of it. Before you actually try using the henna though, kind of decide what you want to do, and then you can just do like a little line to get a feel of what it's like to hold it. It's a little bit like, you could try holding it like a pencil. I find it's kind of harder to hold it like that. I liked using it more like, kind of like you're decorating a cake, like it's icing on a cake. But before you use, like I said, squirt a little bit out so you can get a feel for how fast it comes out. If you do finer, thin lines like that, the color's gonna be a little bit lighter. If you put it on a little bit thicker, you're gonna get a little bit darker design. Henna is different on everyone. It's a little bit, it has to do with your skin, the way you apply it, the kind of soap that you use, how often you wash your hands, the heat of your hands. It's common to do it on the palm of your hand, the back of your hand, the wrists, or even on the tops of your feet. So whichever you want to do, it's fun. Keep in mind it can last anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks. When you're applying the henna, it's good to have like maybe a little hand wipe or a little hand sanitizer and paper towel around, because if you like make a little bit of a dot that you want to take off, you can take it off pretty quickly at the beginning like that. But if it's on your hand for more than a minute or two, it is going to start to leave a mark. So the process is you're going to make the design on your hand and you let it dry. It takes at least an hour for it to dry. Make sure it dries completely. And then you'll flake it off. It'll just be kind of like a hardened kind of flaky dust on you once it's completely dry. And you'll see a light design. It'll darken over the next 24 hours. So it'll get a little bit darker than it initially looks. But like I said, if you do it really thin, you're gonna have just a lighter design. So with that being said, I will give you a little example on my hand of what it's going to look like. I took the pin out. Like I said, make sure you save that pin. I've had this henna cone for a long time and it's definitely still working. There's still a ton in there. It doesn't really take much. I'm squeezing a little bit down to the end. I'm going to put it a little out so you can see. There you go. That's actually a pretty thin line. If you go that thin, you're gonna get a lighter line. It's okay though if you make a thin line and then kind of go over it again. Also, if you feel a little shaky, it's fine. It's not, unless you're doing a really fine, really detailed design, you're not gonna see that. You can just kind of go over it again. So I will start here. And if you're like me, I am right-handed. So my design is gonna be on my left hand because I've tried doing it any other way, and I just don't have the kind of control you need to do it someplace else. So I'm gonna put some on my hand like this. Like I said, kind of think about the design you want to do first. I'm gonna kind of go up my finger. It's very common to do all the way up your fingers and do like rings. A lot of the designs that people do are something that's very personal to them. Bride and grooms often will have the person's name hidden in the design. So it's really kind of cool. It's very interesting, and I read a lot about henna when I was getting ready for this program. It's really interesting, and it really is an art form. People do some really beautiful, intricate things. So it does take a little practice, but it's fun. Like I said, you can, a good thing to do is maybe even like on the top of your foot, kind of do a little practice there if you're ready to actually use the real henna. Not as many people are gonna see that spot maybe before you do something like this. But keep in mind that this is gonna be kind of dark. It's gonna be on your hand for a little while unless you wash it off right away. Like I said, in a couple minutes, you're gonna have a design here. But if you can see how thick I'm putting it on, it's gonna be a darker design. So if you see I kind of missed a spot there, I'm just going back and filling in. And it works just fine. It's not completely unforgiving. You can, you know, make a little mistake, it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm gonna squeeze them down a little bit over here. Like I said, your cones are gonna be fresh, brand new cones. I've been using mine for a little while. I've been doing some practice, so. It's fun. Oops. It's something you could maybe do with a friend. You guys could take turns doing it on someone else. I've found it's a little bit easier for me to do it on someone else. You can get a hand model to do this, but unfortunately for you guys, I had to be my own hand model today. It was either have a hand model or be able to film, so. All right. Just make sure when you do decide to do this, you have time to sit and let it dry, because you're not gonna wanna do anything. Careful not to get it on anything too, because it'll leave a little bit of a stain. You're not gonna wanna do anything, so maybe turn on your Netflix and sit down or read a book for a little while. While you're letting it dry. Like I said, if you're doing it this thick, it's gonna take longer to dry. I know it's looking kind of messy, but remember that top part's gonna come off. It's just gonna leave the stain behind. So this part doesn't have to be perfect. I had, for my birthday one year, a very good friend of mine did a really big henna design on my hand. It was really cool. And it lasted on my skin, it lasted a good 2 weeks. So, and that was with a lot of hand washing. It still did. Okay, maybe do, let's see if I can squeeze it down a little bit more. And you're gonna have to figure out the way that's easiest for you to control it. So you can do a little. Now, if you touch it to your skin, you're gonna get that wider line. So you gotta think about that too. I'm gonna go up like this. And just squeeze it down again. Like I said, you can easily go back and fill in those gaps. All right. You know, it's kind of a big thing too now when you go on vacation places. You can even, very often you can pay to have someone do a henna for you. Usually though, a lot of times it is a gift. An artist will gift it to you. Okay. Okay, so again, you get that all on there, you're gonna let it dry for a good hour, make sure it's completely dry, and when it's done, it's gonna look like this. You can see this is a thicker design I did. This I did a very fine, thin design. So have fun, stop by and show me at the library what your henna designs look like. Keep an eye out for next month's Art to Go.